No, sorry. I'm just trying to record the video to the playlist on YouTube so you guys can
Okay.
have it. So that way you'll be able to watch it there.
Now you saying I can go ahead and even though I ran Terraform init and I done ran it a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Now you saying I could just go in here and just delete this and just run Terraform init and it'll reboot everything. I want to say so far as refresh and it'll collect all my data for as the mistakes I made and and if I corrected it, it's gonna show corrected.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, let me explain. So that this .terraform folder is when because the what this folder does is you guys know you can use Terraform to create different infrastructure, not just AWS. Um, Terraform can be used to create Azure infrastructure, GCP infrastructure, any type of software application that supports Terraform. Terraform can do that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when you guys when we are using Terraform to create resources in AWS, there are some packages and things that Terraform needs from AWS that it would download on the back end. It stores those packages in this .terraform folder. That's one thing this is doing. Another thing it does is all the modules you've listed here, your
Mm-hmm.
RDS module, you are telling it your RDS module is in my source GitHub repository, hardboiled dealing, Terraform module, RDS, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it goes into that repo, downloads the module for RDS. It also stores it in this .terraform folder. So if you click on that .terraform folder, that drop down, if you click on that drop down, you see that it create a directory there, a folder there called modules.
Mm-hmm.
And if you click on that drop down on that module, you'll see that it has downloaded all your module and stored it there. So if you can click on any one of them, click on RDS, for example. You can see in your RDS is there, but this is how it stores your module. So it is downloading your actual file and storing it in this .terraform folder that
Mm-hmm.
is local on your project. Why this is important is the next time you run Terraform init or Terraform apply, instead of Terraform to go back to your repository to download your RDS module, it will just use whatever it has already downloaded here because that is the quickest way for it to
Right.
help you get your stuff running. Otherwise, every single time it would have to go into your modules and download your module all over again. And think of a case where you have a lot of projects where Terraform needs to go download the module. It might take time for it to
Mm-hmm.
download all the module and run your stuff. So to make things easy, it just it will catch the modules that you've already downloaded in this .terraform folder so that
Mm-hmm.
next time you run Terraform in it doesn't go
It's
back to
already
go
have it.
download it. All right.
Gotcha.
So in your case where you made a mistake in the module and you fix it, why
Mm-hmm.
you're still seeing that same error is that Terraform is not going to download your module because it already downloaded it and it's just pretty much using whatever is here. Does that make sense?
So once I yeah, it makes sense. So once I fix it, do I fix it in the RDS or I fix it?
So no, you fix it in your module. You always fix stuff in your module. So if you want to force Terraform to always go back to download your module anytime you run Terraform in it, there's a command you can use, but the easiest way, what I always do is I just delete this .terraform folder. So that way,
Oh, okay. All
when you
right.
run Terraform in it, it's just going to go re-download everything again.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I'm just
Okay.
giving
All
you the
right.
long story of what is happening, why every single time you fix stuff in your module and it's not reflecting in your project. It's because Terraform is not going to download that module because it already downloaded. And
Okay.
it
Okay.
it does not know that you are fix something in the module that you are trying to correct. It's just um
It's picking it up from the
yeah,
modules. I got
yeah,
you. I
yeah.
got you.
So
I got you.
so to fix it, you just need to delete that .terraform folder in this project. and you need to delete that dot terraform log HCL file and run Terraform in it again.
So that's all right. Let's see.
Mm, Yep, and run delete that um, dot terraform log HCL. You have to delete both. That
Okay.
one. All right. Now run Terraform in it. You see that it's downloading the modules again now. See where it says downloading, downloading,
Hmm.
downloading.
Yeah, it's
It's
downloading
showing,
from my GitHub.
yeah, you see, it's downloading your NAT gateway, your RDS, your security group, and your VPC.
Okay.
Then, once it is done downloading it, then that's when it will be ready for you to run your Terraform.
Apply. Okay. All right. Because I didn't have it. It's like what I'm doing is I'm building it, and then I'm running terraforming it every time you on a video. I'm running terraforming it, terraform apply, and see if I have any codes that come on up. And if I
Mm-hmm.
don't have any codes that don't come on up, I destroy it so it don't start costing me money. And that's the part I needed to understand is the dot terraform, because when I was going back and doing it, and I did come into little problems, and it didn't change. It just kept all of it. And I was like, all right, well, this got to be a kind of a question for AZ, but I try to figure out some alternatives. It's not just wait for you, just try to figure it on out. And I would just come and stump, and I didn't want to mess anything up. I kind of knew it, but I didn't want to mess anything on up. And I was like, damn, I don't want to nuke my whole infrastructure and all my modules and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah, I
but
understand. And I mean, you did the, I mean, you when you guys are working on your project, you really can mess stuff up, really, because that's the point of the project um, is just to learn and make as many mistakes as you can make. So, I mean, it's good. I mean, what you
it
did is good too. So
this is usually take this long to because
sometimes it does. See, that's the point. That's why that the Terraform, uh, sometimes it doesn't take that long, but sometimes it does. But let's just wait. It's still running. It'll pop up soon. And it could also
okay.
be your network too, because it also sometimes if there's a delay in your network, it will take forever
Yeah,
to download it.
because I have a hotspot, and I was using, on a hotspot, it always changes and give you a different IP. And I already got the IP, everything already set from the previous day. And I'm not, it gave me a new one. So it probably wouldn't work. But if I update the IP that's already configured for the Wi-Fi, because it always changes, it's gonna give me it'll work. Let me see if I can go to it. Let's see. This ain't gonna be my IP address for my SSH, but I don't think that's gonna matter.
Yeah, it's not gonna matter. Yeah, this is just your network thing. Yeah, it will come up. It will come up.
Yeah, and I know another thing. On the database instance class, I don't think they use for the RDS. I think is updated, but on your video is TDB dot T2 micro, but I think
It should be
is
T3.
T3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
change
I
you can
wanted
change
to
it to T3. Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to see if what it was gonna do. So I know
Yeah, it
that's
will let
that's
you know
coming.
because once you start creating it, it will probably tell you uh
Hmm.
that T2 is no longer available. Then it will ask you to fix it. Yeah, so I think for that one we started using T3.
Yeah, yeah. But did you see how once I configured the RDS, man, I was happy. I was happy. Now I knew my problem was, man. And once I knew my problem, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go ahead on and do the other Terraform one. The one
Okay.
I started with when I
Mm-hmm.
jumped into it, and I should never did that, but I had everything. So I was like, and
It's
this is the
cool.
next. This is the
Yeah.
next one. Yeah.
I'm very proud of the progress you made with that EKS one. I know you spent a while on it, and every single
Man.
time I kept sending you back to check this. But honestly, though, that's how you learn. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm actually working on the. If no one asks have question, I can probably continue working on it today. In class, so you guys see. I'm working on the EKS one. I'm working on the Terraform portion of it. So I want to deploy that project using Terraform. Mainly
You know,
because when you guys need help troubleshooting something, it will be very easy to use Terraform to spin up the EKS infrastructure. Then you can run your deployment file. So I did one where I used Terraform to create the EKS infrastructure, the EKS cluster in the node. Then I ran my script the way we ran the script to deploy it, and it worked. But now I'm trying to, now it's back on. So now I'm trying to uh, use Terraform to deploy everything, including my manifest file, deploying it with Terraform. So it's giving me some error here and there, but I know I'm going to fix it. So once it's done, I'm going to upload that folder in that project. So you
mhm.
guys, at the end of it, you guys will have that full project to deploy with EKS in
Yeah,
Terraform.
because the for as when you hard coded it, they changed everything around it. You know what I mean, they changed everything from what the video is, but it's not too much where you can't pinpoint what go where, what goes there, and that's what took me a whole lot of time for us uh, maybe
Mm-hmm.
longer than 2 3 weeks to figure out. I'm like, hold on,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the video and I'm looking at this, and this ain't matching. I was like, then the weekend of coming, I'm like, hey AZ, you know, this is not looking how it's supposed to look. It's like when you say you was gonna get to it. It's like Dylan, just do it all over again. I was like, all right, I'll do it all over again, not a
I always
problem.
do that too. Anytime I work on something it doesn't work, I just do it all over again. So,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I
yeah,
know I always tell you guys that, but really that's how you learn. Just
yeah,
start
yeah,
all
most
over.
definitely,
But
most definitely.
obviously, if you've known everything up to your VPC, you don't have to delete your VPC and start all over
No,
again.
mm-mm.
You just start at your EKS cluster. So if
Yeah,
once your VPC is done, everything is done, the EKS cluster, delete it, start all over again from there. Really, from the EKS cluster, there isn't too much to do there. All you're doing is creating your cluster, your node, your worker node, and running your script. So,
right.
okay. All right, now you can run your apply.
And it's
Did someone call me? All right. Module security. Oh, okay. So that one, you might just have a typo there.
line 58 in my modules. Let me go see.
Yeah. So go in your, yeah, go in your module. Yes. It's right there on the left side. So click on the left side here. Yeah. Yeah, just click that one. All right. Go in your security group. And then that's here.
Yeah.
Where you say line 58?
Okay.
Uh, what was it, 58?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Uh,
58.
where's this one, right? So you
No.
see
No, I don't think it was this one. Hold on. Let me see. Uh,
database
and the
security
modules
group
come.
ID. So go to your database security group. Oh, you know what? No, go back to, I think it's probably in your RDS. Go in that, yeah, go in RDS, your main.tf.
No.
Um,
It-
like, not this one. No, go back to that error code again. I didn't read it very well. So go to your error code. So it's
the
saying on
database
your
security.
main.tf line 58. So it's talking about, uh, in module RDS. Okay. So in your RDS module, uh, RDS. So the main is that it's talking about is probably referring to your project module. So go in your project module,
Uh,
not your module, in your project itself. So go in the other Terraform, in the other Visual Studio Code thing, yeah. So click on your main, line 58, right there, right?
mm-hmm,
So so you see here, you are referencing the security. So for your database security group ID, right?
mm-hmm.
It will be in your module security group, database security group. So now uh go in your security group. Take note of what you called it here. Here you are calling it database security group ID.
Right.
Right. So because I think you just have a typo there somewhere. So now go in your module for go in your module for
For RDS.
yeah for your security group. Click on the outputs. Let's see. Yeah, click on that one and click on outputs. So here you have database security group ID,
Mm-hmm.
and that is pointing to your uh, AWS database security group ID. So copy that. I think it is just a typo somewhere. So we just need to pinpoint it.
Just copy this.
Copy that one. Yeah. All right. So now before we go in your main.tf. Your main.tf. I want to see some. Uh, go to where you have your database security group ID.
Data place.
So
Okay.
go no go down, scroll down. With your database security group. Yeah. I think it's the last one. Yeah, right here. So you have it database security group. Database security group. So here, security groups.
As this, I think the module is called security groups with an S at the back, but it's not having an S.
Oh, okay. So go to your project. Let me see. Yeah. So yeah, I know there's a typo. So scroll up to your so you see your module secure. Oh yeah, thank you, Adewale. So you see the issue is actually in your project. So you see your module security group on line 38, right? No,
Oh,
you don't have to scroll. So you were fine. Scroll down, scroll down. All right. No, keep scrolling down. Yeah, you can leave it right. You can no scroll up. You
right
can leave it
here.
like this here.
Mm-hmm.
So look at your line 38 for your module name.
Right here.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Look at the name. Your module line 38, you name the module security groups.
Ah, gotcha. I see it.
But
I
when you are
see it.
trying to reference the module right there on line 58, you miss the S.
Gotcha. Okay. All
Thank you,
right.
Adewale. Yeah, so that's the issue.
Okay. All right.
So you understand what you need to do. You just need to add an S on line 58 or copy that one and replace it with your line 58 after the module.
All right. Uh,
So
so
you know,
I gotta put this. I gotta put this on the modules. I gotta put an
no,
S right here.
no. So the database security group ID on line 58, you are
Right.
telling it where that database security group ID is located. It is located in your security groups module,
Ah,
right?
gotcha. Gotcha.
So
Okay.
so you are telling it for my database security group ID, look in module, right? You see, you will have module dot. After that module is the name of the module you want it to look in. The
Okay.
name
All
of the
right.
module is the module I just showed you on your line 38. So go to your
Okay.
line 38. Look at what you call that module.
I call the module security groups with an S.
Now look at that. Go back to 58.
And 58.
So you are
Okay.
trying to
I got
tell
it.
it to go
Yeah.
into that module, right? So don't look at that first part. Look at the module dot, the
Oh,
name of the
okay.
module. You get it?
Yeah, I get it. It's the module security groups. If I'm gonna reference it up there as S, I gotta reference it here as a S.
So yes, if you want to reference a module, you have to tell it exactly what the name is, because it won't, it can't guess that that's the module you're trying to reference.
Gotcha.
So if you have any
Gotcha.
typo in there, it's not going to work. So that's the thing about software development and computers. They aren't biased, like they don't guess. Oh, I think, but even though there is suggesting, that's one of the good things in Terraform, that Terraform is like, are you trying to reference your major security groups that you have there? But when Terraform is running it, it wouldn't assume that's what you want to reference. So even if you are missing one letter like the S, it's not going to work. So yeah.
But
So that's the issue.
do I have to put like it have database security groups S? I have to put an S here too?
No.
Okay, it's just only here.
Yeah. So you understand what I was saying, right? The you are trying to you need to find this database security group ID. So in your security groups module,
Mm-hmm.
you exported your database security group ID,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So in this RDS module, you are trying to use that security group ID. So you are telling it that to find this security group ID, go in the modules, and you tell it the name of the module it has to go into.
Gotcha. Okay.
You
All right.
understand?
I do.
But
I do.
but the name of the module you gave it was wrong. That's why.
Gotcha. And then they gave and then Terraform said, "Do you mean security groups with the S?" I got it. I
Because that
got it.
is what you called your actual security groups module on
Gotcha.
line 38, right? So that's why Terraform is telling you that is this. So if you go to on this one, if you scroll up to line 38, you'll see it there,
Right. Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Security groups. I got it. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sensitive. Yeah. Let me save it. Let me see if it'll
What's intelligent? Someone said IntelliJ with Terraform plugin works better with IAC. So I'm assuming IntelliJ is kind of like an IDE too. I haven't used it before. Has anyone here used IntelliJ before for their IDE?
IntelliJ is heavy. Talking about the size of the software, the packages that come with it. So if your machine is not well, like you don't have enough resources, CPU, RAM, it might be dragging other things from working on your machine. So
I see.
that's my
So I
experience.
just looked it up now. It looks more for like software developers. Or if you're coding heavy and you need to. So I'm assuming it's probably, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Would it be right to compare it to what is that? Is it Anaconda? What is that? That software that most people like to run Python in. That because for example, if I run Python on my Visual Studio Code, right, and I'm trying to do certain things, if that package is not already installed, you will have to go and install it to continue your Terraform project. I mean, like your Python project, but I think with that Anaconda, it comes pre-installed with a lot of the packages, so you don't run into those type of issue. It is intelligent like that, so it comes pre-built with a lot of packages you might need when you are running, like for example, Terraform or different type of code. Yeah, it does look interesting, but I haven't used it before. Yeah, and is it free? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, one can download and install it here and use it here. It's free. I think there's an enterprise version of it.
I see. And yes, the main reason why I'm always oh, PyCharm. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so yes, okay. Okay. Thank you, Cosmin. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, Conda. Yeah. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. Yeah, so Cosmin, Cosmin, the reason why I'm using I always recommend Visual Studio Code is even when you start working is mostly what you will see at work. So, for example, at my job, both of all pretty much all the companies I've worked at, they always have their own software department where you can it's like a so here it is Dylan it is just saying it can't find so it's already complaining about your DBT too, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So creating
DB
RDS
instant.
instance, operation error, RDS, restore RDS, HTTPS response, that okay, RDS DB instance T2 micro does not support encryption at rest. So
Yeah,
do you have encryption at rest enabled in your thing?
no, I do not. I do not.
I
I
think
knew
you
class DB 2 3 was ain't gonna work. I just have it up there.
so how long didn't you just isn't this an RDS you just created?
It was about two
No,
days.
your snapshot, right? Your snapshot is like you just created it with is three T3, right? Not T2.
I created
Okay.
with T3.
All right. So in this project, did you change it to T3?
I didn't. I
Oh
didn't.
yeah,
I
change
didn't.
it. Change it.
Okay.
I mean that's what we are discussing earlier is the T2 is not going to work.
Okay. All right. I think
Yeah, so I work your most of time your company will have their own software department where you have to download the different tools you need to do your work. And if IntelliJ is not there, then there's 9 out of 10 times you'll probably see Visual Studio Code will be there, and everyone has support for Visual Studio Code, and that's what most companies use. But IntelliJ won't be there. So when we are working on the project, we try to use tools that we are most likely to run into when we start working. Yeah. So that's why we use Visual Studio Code. But the IntelliJ, I may download it on my laptop and just play around with it. There is another IDE someone was using one time. I think it was either Ahmed or Sean. Um, the auto suggestion on that one I felt like it was much better. And that IDE also had when, for example, when you are you clone a GitHub repository locally, in the IDE, it will show you in which directory, which branch you are currently in, and I like that. But I don't know. I don't remember which IDE it is.
yeah.
Okay. Um.
But VS Code also shows the branch thing.
It
Is that
does.
correct? Yeah, VS Code. Only one we need to install. is it the extension? If
Oh,
not,
okay.
yeah, I've seen outside just like where you see the main
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
it's showing. Yeah, if you change to another branch, it will indicate, and also it would show the flow, the Git flow, and everything.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I've
know
seen
they
some.
started doing something at the bottom now that is showing you all those, but that one I haven't looked at it because it just looks well, I've been lazy in trying to review it to see what it is actually doing. But I want something where you see how the terminal is open now. I think when the person was using it, it was even in color, right? It'll show you
Oh,
what
okay.
directory you are currently in,
I think
what
Git has that. What's it called? Git. The Git
GitLab, Git Bash.
Git Bash. Yes.
Yeah, so something like that. Yeah, so that's what I
Mm,
mean. It will show you, and whatever branch you are in, it will also show it on in your terminal. Once you have your terminal open, you will see it there. So that way you already know automatically. Okay, I'm in this branch, I'm in this directory, and on this branch. Yeah, so I like that.
yeah.
I'm sure there's
Developers
an
like all those
extension in
kind of
Visual Studio Code you can use to do that too. So,
mm,
but I haven't looked it up to see. Okay, so it looks like it's
developers
working,
also
Dylan.
use some
Yeah, I
cool.
see it.
Mm,
What did you say, Dylan?
I wanted to say that I've seen a developer, sharing his screen and kind of use some cool, maybe what we call is it terminal emulators or editors like
Mm-hmm,
is it Neo Vim, and they have it configured in such a way that you see all those kind of things like the
mm-hmm.
branch they are working on. Kind of makes their work a bit
Yeah,
easier. They know what branch they are in without
yeah.
having to mess up things.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking they are
Yeah,
working on development branch and they are already on
exactly.
production branch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
So I'm sure Visual Studio Code is very powerful, and it is one thing I like about it is very customizable. You can customize it to your own taste. So I'm pretty sure all these things you can do it. You just have to probably just customize it to. And I'll look
Yeah,
into it. For me, the main important thing is that branch stuff, and also having it in different colors so that way you can see. Um, it's very easy to be in the wrong branch and applying the code in the wrong environment. So is those type of things are very helpful.
yes, in
My
fact, a
coworker
guy.
one time was actually in the wrong branch. He was trying to destroy like in a test environment or something like that, but then he was in like prod and he run Terraform destroy in prod in the wrong, and that was a simple mistake where he was in the wrong branch and he ran Terraform destroy and he deleted before he found out. I mean, he found out immediately, but once you run Terraform destroy and
yes,
press and type
yes.
yes, Terraform
That's
has
it.
already deleted like couple of things. So but he was able to get it back, but he was freaking out that day. Yeah. So that does happen every now and then.
Yeah, I was about sharing what happened to a friend. So last week.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he had similar thing, but his was that he thought he was working on his own branch, but he was actually on the development branch,
Oh
and
wow.
he ran some SQL queries on the database, and the database got wiped off.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that
Wow.
was well, it was a development
Development.
database.
Okay, cool.
So
And
If
hopefully
you
they
do,
were taking snapshots in there. So that
yes, AWS takes snapshot, but because they are basically developers, they didn't know that. So they were freaking out, like, oh, what will happen? So they had to go get someone else, developers, they do things in hard ways. I don't know why. They just like doing hard stuff. So
yeah.
they had to go do maybe RDS dump or something. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there are snapshots that you could, spin up your RDS again from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
if you do that in a development environment, can they fire you for that?
I mean, someone asks if you accidentally delete stuff in the wrong environment, can you get fired for it? No, they won't fire you.
Oh,
But
okay.
but it might, I mean, they won't fire you for it. But if you keep doing it, yeah, maybe it might count as like a performance thing at that point, that they
Well,
might just see it as you not taking your time to review your work.
well,
But if it happens one time, they're not gonna fire you for that.
as is, to be honest, if you delete a company database, that's everything's gone. That's the company because the data is what makes the company.
That's true.
Right.
Dude, no matter
Hmm.
what, no matter who you are, man, they're gonna fire you.
So,
Well,
but whose fault is it? The person that's deleted the database or the company not having a way to restore their own database?
so
Even
Because
if,
Aziz,
you
these
know,
are,
Yeah,
I would
that
say
makes sense.
even if it's restored, it's dude, it's not something you want to do as an employee. They
yeah,
will,
that's true.
yeah, they
Yeah.
will
but
kick you out.
Aziz, there is a measure that's supposed to be in place with sensitive, like server, like database, right? There's some prevents deletion of that kind of data.
Protection. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, exactly. There has to be special measures. Even accidentally can be deleted. There has to be like a special measure in place. So,
Yeah.
AWS has a certain deletion.
yeah, yeah,
But
exactly. You need like a
sometimes
special type of permission.
this
Yeah.
actually happened at our company too before, but it wasn't that someone deleted the RDS. They pushed an update to prod and it messed up the database. There was like a bug in it, and it wasn't even like the RDS was the one that got messed up. It was the database in it. You understand? So sometimes it wouldn't even be the instance itself. It will be the data in the
Right,
database.
right.
So and how we pretty much got it back running is usually we take a snapshot right before every deployment. You take a snapshot of the previous one. Then all we did is just we restored the previous one and the database was back up. So especially like what Daniel said, the database is pretty much the company. You lose the database, you pretty much losing everything. So if you know that, why won't a company will be taking snapshots, especially right before every deployment? That is almost a must. You must take snapshot. Even AWS go in and take snapshots for you periodically. But if you don't take your own snapshot, you might not be able to restore back to the exact time where that error happened. So that's why it is also important to take your own snapshot. It's very easy to do. You can write a script that takes the snapshot every single time. But us, we always take the snapshot right before we do any prod deployment. We'll take a snapshot, then we'll do the deployment.
Because if you think of it, when we get into a simple, well, not a simple website like Amazon, when we get on the website, whatever is it that we do, we go in there, we purchase stuff. Whenever we try to select like a specific category of stuff, like a product. When we do that as a user on the front end, we're actually calling stored procedures um, from the back end because that's how the company can protect their data. So because it's easy for um, fraud people to get into Amazon website and start doing stuff. So the company would allow any of their tables to be available within the
That's true.
front end. So when you
That's true.
select category of stuff, you're actually pulling data from a stored procedure that's been developed by developers in the back end because they don't want anyone to access that because that's like the client server process within how these companies protect their databases. So when you go in there, you select stuff, you're actually calling stored procedures that was developed by developers because if they were to allow users to go in and start playing with those tables, then all the fraudsters, the scammers, they will come into Amazon website and start doing stuff. So it's all hidden. Only people that can access these databases are guys that developers in the backend. And the developers permission to write a delete table or truncate table. If they accidentally do that, it's wiped. It's not coming back.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But typically companies don't fire you for mistakes. I mean, but just don't make more than one or two. You know,
Right.
you can't make the same mistake over and over, then most likely they'll fire you for after that time.
In your level of expertise, how many people have you done seen that done got fired for doing something bonehead like that?
Oh, zero.
Or zero?
Zero.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
I mean, as long as they can restore it, if they can restore it, and even if they can restore it, you just work as a team to think of the best solution. It will probably be inconvenience for everyone for that day, but it happens. And usually your coworkers still will be professional. It's not like people will start pointing finger at you about, oh, why did you do this? Okay, it has happened. What is the best way to restore and move forward? So usually that's how they approach it. They always handle it in a professional way. But if
Gotcha.
let's say if you do it multiple times, they may not fire you right away, but maybe when you have your performance review, it might show up. It might show up on your performance review. So I don't know.
And I
But
also feel
I haven't
the way technology has gone up now, yeah, there's going to be a lot of like backups to all of these stuff. They'll be seeing
yes.
somewhere. Yeah, technology has
Yes.
improved. I mean, 5 years ago, yes, if you did something like that right away, they'll kick you out. But now I think there's like technology has gone to a certain level where yeah, these databases, more so like for huge companies like Amazon, because when we make transactions within Amazon, all this database gets into a relational database. And then overnight, it gets into a data warehouse, which holds historical data, let's say probably 10, 15, 20 years. That's how they will get into this data warehouses and then write codes against these databases and do all the analysis, make predictions as to where they need to go, how they need to open up more locations and all that stuff. All of that is coming from the data that they keep when people go in, buy stuff, try to understand how customers behave. So it's mostly historical data that gets put into a data warehouse, and that is what holds the company. That's their money. So these companies will do anything. That's why even within the Amazon sphere, you notice security guys get paid a lot of money, and a lot of a lot of money is their tasks are like, even though they get paid a lot, it's heavy because they hold the keys to the company, So when it comes to security, companies spend anything just so their data is protected. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like your RDS got deployed, so
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you can pretty much continue. So that's the issue. And when you are working on a Terraform project, if you make a change in the module and it's not showing up, just delete those. Remember, you have to delete the
The
.terraform.
dot tier form and the dot lock
Yeah, those two.
ACL. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, do I have to do that on the modules too?
The modules don't have it.
Okay.
Those will only be in the directory where you are running Terraform in it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember when you run Terraform in it, that's when it gets downloaded.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. I haven't run Terraform unit in my modules. Not at all.
Exactly. So you won't see it in there. Yeah.
All right.
Right. All right. Does anyone else have any question?
I think the guy at the front, he got his hands raised.
Oh, Shuba. I saw Shuba had a hand raised. Shuba, are you still here? How are you? I saw your message and I was going to respond to you today. Shuba, are you still there?
Nah, he not there.
That's a she. Maybe she stepped
Oh,
away.
it's a she.
Yeah.
Oh.
She probably stepped away. She'll be back now. All right. If you guys don't have a question, let me. I was working on the. EKS stuff in Terraform, and I can kind of like show you guys some of the stuff I've done so far, and yeah, I can show you guys some of the stuff I've done so far, and you guys can just watch that. But once I'm done, I'm going to upload the folder into the EKS project, so you guys can download the full Terraform project there. Just a second. Because I was working on it on my Mac computer. Let me push my change to my repository. Then I can download it on this computer. Just a second.
Okay. While as this is bringing up that, I want to chip in this or probably ask this. I think it was Daniel that was talking about stored procedures. Is that right?
Say it again.
Yes, it was.
Oh,
Yes, I was.
okay. So my question is this: can that be done when a company is using like a managed database like AWS, RDS? Can they do those kind of stuff? Oh, my voice.
Yes, I was gonna say your voice.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
better now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay, good. So my question is the stored procedure thing. I've heard it before, but I don't know, is that possible when a company is using like a managed database like AWS, RDS? Can that be implemented?
Yes, a stored procedure is pretty much like I would say it's like the programmatic aspect of SQL. When SQL pretty much we write codes against tables that has rows and columns, and then you write to say I wanted to see which of my allocations doing well in terms of sales and all that stuff. You write a SQL statement. Now, if you want to take it to a level where you program it in the sense when I do this, I'm able to automate it and it runs at a certain time and then call variables similar to what Aziz does. Like when he gets to like Terraform, he's using all these variables that he talks about when he's creating like um, um, stuff for Terraform or whenever it's doing anything, I say, you know what, instead of me using this table name or this bucket name, I'm going to create this variable. It's the same thing. It's more so when you do stuff, you automate it and you instead of users going in and doing like a manual thing, they can select, let's say you did something for a date and you have a date range, just say, let's say, hey, I want to see report for the whole of 2024 for last year, starting from January 1st up until the 31st of December. Now, I want the user, whenever they have this report available to them, they can go in there and then just select dates. That's the time you start using the programmatic side of SQL, wherein you can create variables so users can go in and click on a specific date that they want to see the report to run for. So that's how you use stored procedures. And then if you notice, when you are using SQL Server, the SQL Server Management Studio, where you write the codes, when you write a specific code for, let's say I created wrote a code for this report that I was asked to do, when you X out of that window, you are not able to save the code. So stored procedure will let you, once you create a stored procedure, it would be available for you. It's reusable and it's something that you can go back to and it's sitting somewhere. You know what? Let me try to see if I can share my screen just so I show you what I'm talking about. The usability of a stored procedure.
Okay.
Yeah, just give me a minute. Let me load my SQL code.
And
Why?
that's in an everyday instruction. That's an everyday in work environment.
Yes, let me share my screen. If Aziz can let me share real quick, I'll just show you guys what exactly is going on.
Dylan can stop sharing. So once Dylan
Oh,
stop sharing, you
okay. I think I did stop sharing. I don't.
no, I can still see your screen.
Yeah, it says someone else is sharing.
Okay, let me stop it. All right, there we go.
Okay. Let me know when you guys can see it.
Yeah, we can see it. It's
Okay, cool.
loading.
Okay. So this is a database that I have. It's a bank. It's called iBank, but it's pretty much a banking industry database. And I've got tables in there. See, I'm opening the tables up. I've got the transaction table and all that stuff. So I'm going to write a simple code just showing what's in the in the account master table. So you see, these are the account IDs of the users who have accounts in the bank table and all that stuff. If I write this code now, say, hey, someone asks me, say, hey, just show me the people that have accounts with us, the bank, pretty much. This DO is the date it was opened. That's the balance that they have, the UBL, and then that's the status, whether it's doing all of that stuff. But these are the names of people or customers that have access to us, that have accounts opened with us. When I write this code, I can print this, put it in an Excel sheet, and then send it over to a user. So this is a basic query that I just wrote within SSMS. But the moment I X out of this, that code is gone. I'm not able to save it. It's not centralized. It's not somewhere here that I can come in and be able to see where exactly that code is. I have to write it again or store it somewhere. But if I get into a programmability, these are the stored procedures. Something I can come in, right click, and then just run it. So the reason for stored procedure is pretty much the code I just wrote. I could write that into a stored procedure. Even if I X out of what I just showed you, it will still be saved within here. So it's centralized. Someone can come in, take a look at the code, or run it and understand what I was doing. So that's the reason for stored procedure. Because normal codes, when I write it, if I don't save it somewhere, it's gone. So that's the difference, why you need a stored procedure. And when it comes to programmability, if I was to get into one of these stored procedures, let me just try to modify. It won't let me. I don't have access to execute the stored procedure. See what it's doing. See all these at return value, that's the data type. These are all declined variables, similar to what Aziz normally does when he's doing the variable thing within AWS. So it's pretty much the same. So once I have all of this going, a user can take this report once it's built, go in, start inputting dates or inputting balance to see, hey, what if I'm trying to just do something for a user, for this specific user? So that's what a stored procedure is doing. So it's programming something. SQL is a programming language, not as heavy as Python, because Python is kind of like up there, but SQL can do programming too. So when they're creating these websites, doing all of that stuff, instead of exposing the tables to people, to customers out there, they will hide these tables in stored procedures. So instead of what I just did, now you see I'm doing a select start from account master. This is the name of the table. The company doesn't want anyone to see this table, where this data is coming from. So they're hiding that within a stored procedure. They'll create a procedure, because to create a procedure, just create proc name, and then that. So let's say I could say create procedure, the name ABC as, and then once I do that, that's the name of the procedure. Instead of that now, instead of using this table name, I could just say execute the procedure that I created. So it's all part of hiding these tables so users cannot get into these tables and see where the data is coming from. That's why when you get to Amazon, when you start selecting stuff, any category, you're actually calling a stored procedure, because Amazon doesn't want you to see where the data is coming from. It's hidden. That's the reason why.
Makes sense. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Shuba, are you back?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Aziz.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, I was saying I got your message. I'll respond to the one you sent to me today.
You
But
did?
if
I didn't check the.
no, I haven't responded. I'll respond after the meeting. Because is that something you're willing to discuss here, or is it something you just want to discuss privately, or do you have any other questions
I
that you
have
want to?
questions regarding the project as well.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Coming to the project, actually a few weeks back I've done this project. I could do it without any problem. That is deploying dynamic web application in AWS. What happened is like we are supposed to download a Flyway data migration tool into the EC2, right? You have given the Last time it was there in the website. Right now they're asking you to sign up and download.
No, you don't have to do that. So let me
Huh?
show you let me show you how to get it.
I mean, the last few weeks back I could do it, but this time
Yeah,
it is showing an error actually wherever.
yeah. Let me show you how to I'll show you how to get it. What is going on? Just a second. Hmm. Uh, Let me just a second. I'll share my screen and I'll show you. So sometimes what Flyway do is they probably updated an update on their website and they always move things around.
Okay. Last
Yeah,
time also it was the mood actually. I got somehow I found it, but this time I was trying to find. I didn't.
yeah. Um,
I don't know where I
okay.
missed. Yesterday I
All
was
right.
trying.
Let me share my screen. All right. So here, anytime you guys, let's say the Flyway link change, but I think I updated in our Slack channel, but I'll just show you how to get it here. So here, just type Flyway CLI, Flyway. Let me just do this. Download Flyway CLI. So you can see here, installing and downloading Flyway CLI. And this is not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for an article. Let's try this one. Uh, Not here.
I think it's
Um,
command line. I think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
command line.
Let's just type the command line. So maybe that will give us a different thing. You know what? I think I found it on their website. So here, right? Uh, I'll just accept. I don't always understand all those cookie stuff. So here on their website, if uh, you want to be on the Flyway one, right? So how did I get it? Yeah, if you click on this community one, but that's not what we want. So here, uh, I forgot how I got it. But I know you
I
can find it on their website. So let me see resources.
I think it's downloads.
Yeah, but this. If you click this is going to download the Flyway folder on your computer. But we just need
Right.
the command to download Flyway. So there was a place that was how I got it. So let me try again. Uh, Oh, I think it's probably here. Getting started with Flyway, right? So here, uh, getting started with Flyway.
Now they're asking because few weeks back I've done it. Okay.
Yeah, they moved it. That's why I noticed that too.
That I mean the
But I
previous
have the
you
quick
you're
start
telling.
command line. Uh, I have the link, but I was just trying to show you guys how I got it. But let me just show you the link here. Just a second. Because once I notice it, I make sure I look for it. It's just every single time when they update their site, they always move it. They are always moving the link uh, to a different location. So you can see this is where they moved it to. So if you guys go to, let me see. So I guess if you come to this page, so it will probably be somewhere in here. I think it's probably under getting started. It's somewhere here. But I'll look for it again and I'll let you guys know. But this is the command. This is the URL, Shuba.
Okay.
I'll send it to you now.
Okay.
Yeah. They just moved it to it. So if you come to this URL and you come down here, this is the stuff you're looking for right there.
Oh, okay.
They just moved it. I don't know why they always do that. But which is, I'm telling you guys, they're doing research and finding stuff. Sometimes this is also something you'll run into when you start working. A link that used to work, something documentation, just being able to reference documentation and finding the information you want. Oh, okay, you guys can see the structure. It is under reference. So when you guys come to their main page, wherever this main page where you see getting started with Flywheel, right? So just click on reference, usage, command line. All you want to do is find that command line. And if you click on it, it will bring you to, they have the commands here where you can download it. So
Sure. And one more thing, I have a question.
sure.
Whenever when I was doing project RDS, when I was installing RDS, it used to be $15. Whether it's what about you? Like when you did it, whether it was free?
What, the RDS database?
Yeah.
When you so what you see in the console when you are running it, that is an estimate of how much it will cost if you leave it running, right?
Okay.
So typically before it used to be free because we used to be able to use T2 micro.
Now it is T3 actually. T2
Yes,
is
now they've changed it to T3. So even though they still have the free tier there that you can select.
And
Uh,
I did reduce 20 GB. That this thing also I reduced. So
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
it came to $35 to $14 something. So I couldn't reduce more lesser than that. Like that
Yeah.
was minimum.
Yeah. That's just by AWS doing. Previously, we used to be able to use the T2, which that instance type is usually always free.
Yeah,
But I think something changed in the database on their backend where um, we have to now use T3. So the T3 does cost, but the price you are seeing in the console is there to give you an estimate how much it will cost you monthly if you leave it running. So what I always say is RDS has the capability to stop it. So as long as you don't leave it running for 24 hours, let's say you guys stop it here, you're working on your projects for 2 hours, you have it running during those time where you deployed it. And when you're stepping away, you stop it, you'll be fine.
okay,
So
should not.
because you just don't leave it running. So if you want to step away, RDS has the feature to stop it. So just go into your RDS settings, stop the RDS instance. But mind you, if you stop the RDS, AWS will only allow you to stop it for 1 week. It's not like an EC2 instance that you can stop for a very long time. RDS, AWS will only allow you to stop it for 1 week. After 1 week, AWS would restart it back, but you can go back in and stop it again. But it's something you have to keep going back in to stop it after 1 week.
Oh,
Yeah, but something to note. But yes, if you want to step away, just stop your RDS instance, because really, uh, the amount of time it will take you guys to complete your project, even if we say at the worst, is like 45 hours, right? Which 45 hours is a long time. As long as you are stopping your RDS and starting it, stopping it and starting it, right? 45 hours is less than that's like 2 days, right?
yes.
2 days running RDS for 2 days is not going to cost you a whole lot. And if you get in the habit of removing the resources that you know will cost you when you are walking away from your project, then that will minimize how much you spend at the end of the month. So that's the trick I always use to. But we only have to deal with this because we are working in the management console. By the time we get to Terraform,
Yeah.
when you start creating your resources with Terraform, you won't have to worry about this, because you can run one Terraform command, delete everything, and when you return, run another Terraform command to recreate your infrastructure and continue where you left off.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's just kind of like what we have to deal with for now.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but just stop it if you need to step away. Don't leave it running for 24 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's more than
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Or yeah, if you need to step away a day or two, just don't leave it running while you are working on your project. Just have it running when you are actively working on your project. And if you need to step away, stop your RDS instance. The two things that will cost you is the RDS instance and the NAT gateway. So that's why even when you guys are working on your project, even though on the reference architecture, I have two NAT gateways, on the project, I told you guys to only use one. So that way you're not using two NAT gateway and just getting charged for two.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I have one more question. Like
Sure.
I'm new to this, just maybe silly. Like in this project, can I share I
Sure.
mean, in this thing, you've already shared the picture. 1 second, let me share it in the screen chat. Can you see this? This the architecture, the second, we did this, the third project. This Amazon RDS is always, it has a built-in server, correct? It has a AWS managed server, right? With the,
So I really think RDS, and you guys, those of you that knows more, let me know. So
sorry?
RDS is, no, I was saying, yeah, RDS is when you create it, I think it's just an EC2 instance on AWS and that gets created with your database in it.
It
Right.
has the server, right? Like AWS.
Yeah, there's a server, but you don't have access to the server.
Oh, okay, okay.
You only have access to
The RDS.
you only have access to the RDS and the database that you store in the RDS. But the underlying server, let's say it's an EC2 instance that MySQL was installed on and the database was created in that EC2 instance. You don't have access to that underlying server. You only have access to the RDS and the data in the database.
Okay, that's why we are doing is like we are using data migration tool, and then we are transferring the data to the first RDS, then we are, right?
Yes. So in our project, when we create we launch the RDS, we get a brand new database in it. Because our application, there's already data for our application that we need to load in the database so that we can see, for the website we are deploying, all those images you see, all those products, those are in the database. So we need to load that information in the database so we can get the full functionality of our site.
Okay.
That's why, yeah. But let's say it's like a new application you are working on where for example, in the WordPress project, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to do any of the loading of the data because that is like a brand new application, right?
Yeah.
So that is collecting information. So as we start, let's say you deploy your website and people start using it, then your database will start collecting new information. But for like the MySQL, the PHP application we were working on, that someone created it, and for the database, those SQL information in the SQL file needs to go in the database. So that's the difference.
Um,
But really, you can launch an EC2 instance and install MySQL on it and manage your own server with your database on it. But nobody wants to do that, and it's not really the recommended approach anymore. So any type of service where AWS can manage for you and you just need to focus on the workload itself is always better. So that's why most people just use RDS instead of back before RDS, people would have to install the database themselves and manage the database server themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
coming back to my question, will you be able to text me back?
Yeah, today. I'll text you back today.
Okay, sure.
Mhm.
Thank you.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Thanks for your help.
Mr. Henry Weekend, Abel, thank you for the information. Mr. Henry, yeah, sure, I'll stay after so we can talk.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any question?
Aziz, can I talk to you for 2 minutes, please?
Okay, after class too?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. All right. Does anyone else have any question?
Aziz, can I also like get 2 minutes talking to you?
Yeah,
After
sure. So right now the order is Mr. Henry, Mr. Larry, and you. So once class is over, once I'm done, I'll just message you guys to
in the Slack?
I'll message you on Slack, yeah, that I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Does anyone have any question? All right. So let me share this Terraform thing that I'm working on real quick. Um, mm, this might be too big. So I'm working on, maybe this is too small. You guys let me know if this is either too big or too small. So
Okay.
one thing you guys should do is when you are organizing your project. So this is how I started organizing my project because I got tired of I have all my projects all over the place. And after I haven't worked on a project in a while and I try to go look for it, I don't know where the folder is on my computer because I have so many folders, so many. Sometimes I use my home directory, sometimes I use my desktop. So I just end up creating a folder called AWS projects. And in that folder, I organize all my projects in it. I started doing it. So here I have my Docker project. So in the Docker project, all I have in there is my Docker file, the command, the script to push the Docker image, build and push the Docker image, whatever I need. So basically, in my Docker project, this only has things like building an image and pushing an image. So I have for the different applications we worked on. In my Python project, I have the different Python project. This is the Bedrock one we worked on, the AI one. This is the EC2 check one. I think we worked on this one too. And so this is just the different Python projects that I've worked, Python and Lambda project. And here I have the scripts. So some of the scripts that I use to deploy the application are in here. And I have the Terraform project here. So in the Terraform project, I have dynamic EC2, dynamic ECS, dynamic EKS. So these are like the dynamic application. So the static one, I can add the static one at some point, but I really don't care too much to add the static because those ones, the static application don't have database. So I'm just more focused on the dynamic one. So the dynamic one is just the application when we deployed it on EC2. So here I have the three different application, Shopwise, Nest, and this is the Node.js application that I just deployed. And this I'll share this with you guys at one point. Then so that's for the Terraform. Then I have the dynamic ECS. It's pretty much the same structure. The same application that I deployed in EC2, I deployed it with ECS. And now I have the dynamic EKS. So the same application I deployed with EC2, now I'm deploying it with EKS. So this EKS one is what I'm working on now. So it's pretty much our EKS project that I'm deploying with Terraform. So I got it to work. So when I did the Terraform project, right, I got it to work by I can create my infrastructure. For example, in this EKS thing, here I'm creating my EKS cluster. I'm creating my EKS cluster role. I'm creating my EKS cluster. Then after the EKS cluster, I'm creating the worker node. Then after the worker node, then I'm running my deployment, right? So I got it to work up to this. I mean, this part is just the new one I just added. So I'm just going to comment this out for now. So you guys know in our project in the management console, what we do is we deploy our EKS cluster, then we deploy our worker node, then we run these commands. And I also updated these commands. Then we run these commands to pretty much deploy our manifest file. So this works as it is now, but I want to, instead of running those commands to deploy our manifest file, I want Terraform to pretty much do everything. So that's why I started adding the different things that the different commands we were running on the script, which is installing Helm, AWS provider, the OI, DC. So I pretty much added all those on Terraform. So that's why I'm trying to deploy. It's giving me some errors here and there, but I'll walk through the error. I'll fix it. Another thing I want to share with you guys too is once maybe next week we can work on it. Or remember when you guys were asking me about like different tasks to give you every week. The last one I gave you guys is writing a simple script that queries an S3 bucket and give me a list of S3 bucket and their encryption setting. So another one we can work on is just creating a simple script. So in your script, so what I did with this script is when I wrote this script and this script worked, everything was always in white. So I wanted to add like a feature to the script where when a command is running, it will print out, because you guys see for each of this command, when this command run, right? This is the actual command. So you guys, when you look at this script, don't get intimidated. It's very simple. This is the actual command that is running. But right when this command is running, I want to print something on the screen. And when you guys are using any type of script at work, you will see them do this a lot. Right when this command is running, it will just print this on the screen. It will say verifying AWS credential to let me know this command is running. So all the command has their own message it will print right before it runs. But because everything was always in the same color, it's hard for me to tell what is currently running. So what I did is I added this color code to it. So in your script, you can add color code to certain lines that are printing to be able to see it. So now if I run this, it will just print this on the screen. It will print getting this it will print getting this STS. It will print get verifying AWS credentials, but it would do it in yellow. So let me see. It's not going to work now because I don't have my cluster running, but the script will work, but it will fail. So let me see if I can run it. I don't even think I have my AWS credentials running on this computer because I just updated it recently. But you can see the script work, and it will still show you. It will still show you kind of like the idea, but it will fail. Just so that you guys know. So if I run this, my deployment script. So you can see it is printing it in yellow, verifying AWS credential, and it failed, right? So, right, it can't verify my AWS credential, yes, because I don't have any credentials stored on this computer yet. I have one, but I have updated, and I haven't updated on this computer. So let me show you in the script where I have this. So here, you can see, this is the first command that is running. It is verifying my AWS credential. And if I don't have my AWS credential, it is going to say failed to verify AWS credential. You see, my failed to verify AWS credential is this function here that print. So what this does, Claude gave me this. So what this function does is this function just check the status of the last command you ran. And pretty much if you run any command, this checks the status of it. And if the command is successful, it moves on. And if it's not successful, it will print out whatever error message you want it to print out. So here I printed this out on the screen, verifying AWS credential, and I want the color to be yellow, which is this color code that I've already put here, right? So that's what you guys are seeing here. Then it ran my command to verify my AWS STS get color identity. It ran that command. Then it is checking the status of the command. So it's pretty much calling this check command function. That's what we are running here. And if it failed, it will print out failed to verify AWS credentials. And that's what you guys are seeing here, failed to verify AWS credentials. And that is set to print in red. And that's what you're seeing here. So that's some of the stuff I want us to work on, where we will work on some scripting stuff. We'll start with just understanding how to write a simple script to do something. Then from there, we will move on to enhancing the script to make it maybe more user-friendly. So, for example, we can even go with the script, some of the script we use to deploy our application on EC2 and try to enhance that script. Maybe add some color code to it, add some stuff to print error message. So that's another idea I have of something we can do. So I just decided to add that to this EKS project. So because when I was working at this one company, this is how they had their script running. Usually when they deploy their script, you can see things color coded. When it's done, whatever task it is working on at that time, it will tell you deploying this. Sometimes it will be in yellow, it will be in green, and if it failed, it will be in red. So I just wanted to incorporate all that stuff in here. So we have a lot of stuff we'll work on, but we'll get there. Does anyone have any question? But once I'm done with this AKS stuff, I'll post it in the project so you guys have access to it.
You gonna put it on the videos? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, so in the project itself, you'll have it in the project resource so you can download it there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. But then I also, maybe in one of the class, once I'm done with it, I'll show you how to run it too. So that way, because this project, nothing is hard coded. Everything is going to use environment variables. Everything is going to use variables. So you should be able to just deploy it on your end and it will work exactly the same way. I'll just show you some of the stuff you need to set up. Obviously, you need to set up your own secrets in your secret manager, and that's the only thing you will need to do. So once
And you
you
guys
set up your own secret in secret manager, here you need to add your own IP address.
and T2 and T3 micro. And I don't think they're going to
Yeah, you don't
T.
need to change all this. So a lot of this stuff will remain the same. But I'll show you how to deploy it and things you need to update to fit your environment. And once you do that, it should work perfectly in any environment if you're trying to deploy it in your own AWS account.
And I can take this to a job and reference this and let them
Yes.
know that okay. All
Yeah,
right.
so it's something you can use. So, but what I ask is that you guys know you already, so because a lot of stuff in here, so you guys can see all this code. These are code we've already done on the EC2 project. So I just pretty much moved them over. The only new code that is here is my EKS, which is pretty long, but the things in there are things we've seen before. This is just a code to create IAM role. And this is the code, this is a script to add a policy to an IAM role, right? So there's nothing here this is a script to create an EKS cluster. So if you've created an EKS cluster in the management console, a lot of these settings would make sense to you. So it's very simple. It's just because EKS, there's like a lot of things we have to put together. That's why it seems like this is very long. But the things you are creating in it is pretty simple. So once this is done, I'll share with you guys.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone have any question? Okay, cool. Since I have to meet with people, we can, since no one has any question, we can end early today. I mean, we have 13 more minutes, but we can end early so I can meet with those that I need to meet with and discuss whatever they need to discuss. So thank you guys. Continue working on your project. If you have any questions, reach out to me, let me know. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good weekend.
All right, guys.
All
Thank
right,
you.
AZ.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So in this order, Mr. Henry, I'll meet with you first. Then Mr. Larry, I'll message you after. Then Shuba, I'll message you after. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye.